I make a video. I put it out there on social media. I put it out there for people to try to at least have some form of preparation in their lives, in order to try to be able to prepare. And of course, now I realize you're going to have scoffers. The book talks about it, that in the last days, there's going to be mockers, there's going to be scoffers. And of course, there's one thing about mockers and scoffers. They always foam out their own shame and walk after their own lust. And I think, when you know that there's an enemy out here that's trying to do everything that he can, I'll be the first to tell you that even though I have great communication skills in many, many areas, a lot of times I get so passionate about a method, a way of trying to convey a message to the people that I'm sure sometimes you can get offended, especially if you're not doing what you know that I'm actually telling you is right. And because in this generation we have confused conviction with condemnation. Anytime we get convicted about something, we automatically take the attitude of condemnation instead of being convicted. When you're convicted about something, what it does is it gives you the mind to be able to compute, calculate, discern, chart your course, to have a plan of action, and then to be able to execute because you're convicted. And then it causes you to walk in a new way. When you're condemned about something, a lot of times people, when they get convicted about something so many times and they don't do anything about it, they end up in condemnation. And when you're in condemnation, usually an offense comes in. You end up either being bitter, and then your attitude starts changing to a negative disposition. Your mind, your countenance is a negative disposition. Everything about you turns negative. And then you become argumentative. And then you start pointing fingers at the people who are doing, because you have to make yourself feel better for being in a state of apathy, complacency, having a lethargic spirit, a complacent attitude. And so people have gotten this thing all mixed up. And it's hard today to give information out to people and give direction out to people. When conviction hits them, the first thing that they deal with in their spirit is they're condemned. And then that condemnation, all it does is just make them feel even worse. And that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to be able to put a fire underneath you to let you know that, number one, you can't do it. But however, if somebody is not communicating with you, letting you know you can do these things, and I will tell you this, that anything that you do in this world that involves change, there's going to be some pain involved. It's like right now, I'm heading to the gym, okay? And there's going to be some pain involved because anytime, as the world says, old statement, no pain, no gain. I don't care what you do. If you try to do your own homestead, there's going to be some pain involved, because you're going to have to eventually get a hole in your hand, get a shovel in your hand, you got to get out there and garden and something. And this is what the flesh does not want to do. It doesn't want to change. It wants comfort in the way that it is. But you'll never be able to have or to enjoy the comforts later on in life, providing if there are any, if you have not done anything much in your youth. When you're young, your 20s and your 30s, that is the time to really be, laying it down. Laying it down, leaving it all out on the playing field. That is the time that you really, really, truly start working really, really hard. There's an old wise saying that says, if you have done nothing in your youth, what in the world can you expect in your old age? Let's just put it like this. Let's say you've been listening to Pastor Dow all this time, and you know everything that I speak about, it genders towards your own personal prosperity, okay? but yet and still, I can't do it for you. I can give you the information. I can give you the tools. I can give you everything you need to succeed in the direction, but I can't go out and work for you. I can't go out and provide for you. I can't do all these things. And you have to figure it out that sooner or later, if you're still in the same position you've always been, you're listening to the wrong people. If your life is not improvement and you find yourself on this Ferris wheel to where all you're doing is spinning in place, you're still in debt, you still have a mortgage, or you're renting from somebody else that owns something that you could have owned yourself. It's just that it's going to cost you a lot of inconvenience and pain, which later on you could enjoy. You know, I remember people used to, when I impoverished myself, that's what I've been using lately. I remember my family members, my natural family members, man, without them knowing anything much about what I was doing, man, they started coming at me with a barrage of charges that they personally have trumped up themselves. Oh, he's a cult leader. Oh, he just want to take people's money. Mind you, I don't know how I could do that, because there wasn't nobody money out there that was getting, nobody was giving me any money. And I was working 2 and 3 jobs. See, but what it is, it's all about painting a picture, because they're not doing anything to improve their minds or improve their standing or improve their lifestyles. And chances are these same people that are murmuring, complaining, you give it, let's just say that they were older when they was doing this. When they pass on, I guarantee that they won't have no lands and no homes for you to inherit. They won't have nothing for your grandchildren. They won't have nothing for the children's children, because they haven't stored nothing for themselves. And of course, everything that I've done has been all about self-preservation. It's all about being able to preserve yourself so that later on, when you do get old, let's say you hit 80s and 90s and your time is coming to an end, the generations coming behind you, provided that they're respectful people, you know what they could do? They could look back and they could look at the old pictures and say, you know what? I thank God for what my daddy or my granddaddy and all them did. They went against wind and tide. They went out here and worked hard, got land, provided a homestead and homes, all for the sole purpose. So I didn't have to. That all I have to do now is just be able to maybe have a small business, or maybe go out and drive a truck, or do something, have my own business, become an independent contractor or whatever. And all I have to do is maintain, and I can just continue to keep trying to add to these lands, add to these homes, and then continue to keep doing the same thing that my father or my grandfather did, which was to leave something behind for somebody else. Now, especially my people, they don't have nothing that they can leave behind. They're all selfish individuals. On both sides of my family, I have never seen anybody leave anybody nothing behind that they have a so-called amassed or invested in or acquired, because everything that they've always had, somebody else already owned it. And if they did own anything, they left it over to a bunch of people that's going to do nothing but just bicker, fuss, complain, gripe, moan, bawl, squall, and then they're going to split it all up, because the attitude hasn't changed, and then there's still going to be nothing left. So we can't continue on doing the things that we have always seen people do and expect change. It just simply can't work. Somebody's going to change their mind. Somebody's going to change their attitude. Somebody's going to change their outlook. You're either going to listen to what I'm saying and prosper in the way, or you're going to continue to keep doing what all these judgmental people who are producing nothing say, and you're still going to end up being poor, impoverished. You're not going to be ready for no natural disasters, no proverbial crap hits the fan. You won't have anything preserved for your seed, because all you've done is take your money and give it to somebody else, rather than investing it in yourself. I mean, even if you had to go out and, let's say, acquired 5 acres of land, let's say it was $30,000, it's a hell of a lot better to go out and buy 5 acres of land and pay for it as you go, and hopefully within 5-10 years, have it paid off, and with the hopes of being able to build something out there, even if you build it yourself and learn as you go and spend 20 and 30 years learning how to build and doing that, than to sit up here and go pay this absorbent amount of price for a home that's been put up in a matter of a couple of months. That the first time a 50-mile-an-hour wind comes, it blows away. Of course, they got everything set up. You got to have this insurance, got to have this, you got to have that, But you know, something's got to change. And if it's working for you, doing what you're doing, staying in debt, going out there working your fingers to the bone, giving all your hard-earned money to somebody else who owns what you're renting or paying mortgage on, the bank owns it or whatever, that makes you feel good, makes you feel happy, then keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't let me disturb you in any way, shape, fashion, or form. But however, if you're looking for a new and better way, the chances are not only would it be good for you to listen to my natural advice, but my spiritual advice, because Pastor Dow and the people in the ministry of Straightway, we are producers. We are assets to people and not liabilities. And that's what you want to be in life. Have a good day.